What's going on? It's your boy Bowie, Bouey in the building. And this video right here is about politics. So to my typical Mortal Kombat 1 audience that would normally watch these videos for my MK content, you're not going to see any of that here today in this video, but I admonish you to stick around. And the reason why I want you to stick around is because I have a very important announcement to make to y'all. My announcement to you is this. The Democrats do not support your fucking vote. Let me say that again, actually. They do not deserve your vote. You do not owe your vote to the Democrats or the Republicans, for that matter. But I'm talking about the Democrats today, because they fucking tripping. They wilding out here. See, it wasn't enough for them to screw Bernie voters in two primary cycles in 2016 and 2020 respectively. It wasn't enough for them to sit there and lie about the condition of President Joe Biden for years and years and years, and then gaslight people that said that, hey, this man doesn't sound like he's in charge of all his faculties. Hell, it wasn't even enough that these motherfuckers decide they ain't gonna codify certain rights into law and then allow the Republicans to undermine or in some cases repeal those rights just so that they can run against them and point the finger at the motherfuckers. In addition to all this shit, they want to sit here and sick Obama on black men. They want to sit here and buy into this narrative that black men need to be talked down to. Black men need to be admonished for not supporting Harris in the high numbers that they supported Obama himself in. And some of you are like, what the hell? What are you talking about? Let me show you what the hell I'm talking about. Let me show you what I mean real quick. Hold on. So Obama made some remarks a couple days ago to a group of black men that were at a rally for Harris in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to read some of these comments to you. You can find them on YouTube. You can find his remarks. But I didn't want to play that video. I'd rather read it. Oh, they going off over there. All right. But anyway, so this is what he says. In part, my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. This lack of enthusiasm seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. And the pronounced part with the brothers is a direct quote. Amongst many things, he said, and you're thinking about sitting out? Part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president, and you're coming up with all other alternatives and other reasons for that. Then he tried to weaponize black women's support for black men by saying, women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. When we get in trouble and the system isn't working for us, they're the ones out there marching and protesting. On the one hand, you have someone who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joys that comes from those experiences. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. So here Obama's trying to weaponize. Well, first and foremost, he's falling for a fucking narrative, a media narrative. And that media narrative is that black men don't support black women politically. specifically black Democratic women. The narrative is that black men are problematic and that they need to be shamed and talked down to into voting Democratic. And there are multiple issues with this. Many issues with this. Okay? And I'm going to illuminate those issues right about now. So when I say that there's been a media narrative talking about black men, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. So this was an article from NBC News. Black men shift slightly towards Trump and record numbers polls show. This was from 2020. So we have one visible Negro out here with a MAGA hat on. So then it says support for the Democratic presidential candidate reached a new low among black men this year, according to the NBC News poll of early election day voters. So this is part of what I'm talking about. We have a narrative that says that black men are just running to Trump. Let's look at these numbers, though. I'm going to start with Obama. In Obama's first presidential campaign, 95% of black male voters and 96% of black women chose him. That's in 2008. So in 2008, the president got 95% of the black male vote. Then it says 4 years later, so in 2012, black women's voting percentage was at 96%, so it increased slightly for women, but the figure for black men slid to 87%. So it went from 95% to 87%. In a 4-year period, the percentage of black men that voted for Obama dropped 8%. Are you telling me that these guys suddenly had some sort of political reawakening and were like, oh shit, I'm actually a Republican, I forgot, let me vote for the red guys? Or, oh shit, oh, I think Obama's a woman, let me not vote for him? You think that's what the fuck happened here? I'll get back to that. So then, in 2016, the black male vote went from 87% to 82%. So that's a 5% drop. Women dropped 2%. It went from 96% to 94% for Hillary. Okay. So far we see the numbers. Started off at 95. Then went from 95 to 87. That's -8. Then went from 87 to 82. That's -5. What was Biden's number for black men? Oh, it says so right here at the top. 80% of black men supported Joe Biden. Then it even goes on to say down slightly from Hillary's 82%. Let's think about that for a second. Obama just got done saying that there's some misogyny here. Black men realize, oh shit, this is a black woman, so I'm not going to be as excited. But when it actually came down to it on the actual election day, less black men voted for Biden than they did for Hillary fucking Clinton. Mind you, Hillary Clinton called black men super predators in the 90s. Remember? Her husband shredded welfare programs. And he instituted the 1994 crime bill. And more black men voted for that lady than they did for Joe fucking Biden. Mind you, Joe Biden is the author, or was the author, of the 1994 crime bill, which severely increased mass incarceration amongst black men. Okay, so Bill Clinton and Joe Biden have persecuted black men politically. Yet more black men voted for Mrs. Clinton than they did for Joe Biden himself. Where's the misogyny? I'm trying to find it. I'm literally looking around and shit. Like, you can probably hear my voice going in and out because my face is turned and shit. Like, where's the fucking misogyny there? If there was misogyny, we should see Hillary's numbers looking lower than Biden's. They're not. And we damn sure shouldn't see an 8% drop in 4 years for Obama himself. Why was that, you ask? Because Obama did not deliver on his campaign promises. Black people supported Obama because we thought he would help us. We thought that since he was one of us, he would get into office and institute policies that would specifically help us. Now, I know what some people are thinking. He's the president of all Americans. He can't just help black people. But there have been policies that have specifically hurt black people. Redlining specifically hurt black people. Gerrymandering specifically hurts black people. Slave codes, slavery, all these various policies that have come out specifically hurt black people. The Southern strategy was specifically aimed at calling black people niggas and Negroes and all that shit without using those words to a white audience. So if there have been specific policies that hurt us, it only stands to reason that there should be specific policies to help us. And any politician that doesn't understand that doesn't deserve the black vote. I'm just saying. So I mentioned reparations pretty much, and doing specific policies for black people that help bring them back up to the same status as everybody else. Notice I want you to notice that I'm on the Green Party website right now. Okay? And I am looking at their platform. This is their platform. Look how long this shit is. You see how they got plans here? Let's click on the one that says social justice. Okay. So this is their policy platform. So here we have reproductive rights, economic equality, sexual equality, violence and oppression, pathway to citizenship for immigrants, let's see here. Reparations and a black agenda. So we have reparations right here. Legitimate claims to reparations, including monetary compensation. Reparations are a debt that is due from the government, corporations, and institutions that profited from slavery and racial exploitation. So establish a reparations trust fund. Money. Descendants of enslaved Africans will have a central role in shaping the calculation, distribution, and use of the trust fund. So they're going to set up the trust fund and then let black people determine what the fuck's going to happen with it. Let me see. Public asset-based system. Okay, address. Oh, this is cool. So we have an asset-based system addressing nurturing black businesses, national minimum wage. Yep. Initiate the repeal of the slave clauses within the U.S. Constitution. By the way, did you know that slavery is still legal in the U.S. Constitution right now? It is. If you are a prisoner, you can be subject to slavery. That's the basis upon which we have these private prisons that are owned by corporations. They lock motherfuckers up, primarily black people, black men specifically, and they have them working for them for horrible wages. I'm talking about cents per hour. Yep. And they're getting, and sometimes it's free. So it's free labor to create products that they then sell for profit. And so repealing the slave clauses in the Constitution would get rid of that. Stop all that shit. Work to restore lands stolen from black communities. Support the release of all political prisoners. Support existing HBCUs. Take action to overcome the effects of 200 years of racial discrimination. Ending support for any remaining symbols of slavery. Vigorous enforcement of civil rights laws. Protection of African American cemeteries. All that stuff. Cool. So that's the policy platform for black people for the Green Party. Reparations is in that motherfucker. Reparations. If you break something, you must work to fix it. Period. You got to clean it up. You got to work to fix it. And it always takes much more time and much more effort to fix something that was broken than it did to break something to begin with. The American government broke black people in this country, made us broke. It wasn't just the South. This was sanctioned by the government itself. Local government, state government, federal government. Through a multitude of policies. Housing policies, criminal justice policies, anti-voting policies, all kind of shit. Obviously slavery and Jim Crow and all the shit thereafter. When it comes down to black people, if you don't have a party that supports restoring what was broken and acknowledging that it was broken and that the government has a central role in restoring this shit because it had a central role in breaking black America, that party is not a serious party. And that candidate is not a serious candidate if they don't believe in reparations for black people. By the way, neither the Democrats nor Republicans officially support reparations. You're not going to find the word reparations on either of their policy agendas. You think I'm bullshitting? Let me show you what Kamala wants to do. So here's Kamala's policies for black people. Says she will deliver for black men. First and foremost, I don't even like this shit. You know why? Because you're ignoring black women. You think black women don't need shit? They're your most loyal voting bloc. They should have 9 pages of policy too. But this is for black men. I guess we're special. So these are the major planks of her plan. Provide 1 million loans to black entrepreneurs, championing education, training, and mentorship programs for black men, regulatory framework for cryptocurrency, National Health Equity Initiative, don't know what the fuck that is, and legalizing recreational marijuana. You hear anything about reparations in there? Now, to be fair to her, it's very detailed. You know, it's detailed. Oh, this is for federal jobs. Look at that. So Vice President Harris will eliminate unnecessary degree requirements and promote meaningful pathways for those without college degrees for 500,000 federal jobs. Help black men stay in school. Blah, blah, blah. Pathways for black men to become teachers and school leaders. Financial support for... Now, this ban on corporate price gouging, that's good. I'm not going to fucking lie to you. That's fucking dope. I hope it goes as far as it sounds like it's going to go, but this is actually really dope. Housing plan and racial bias. Reduce costs for black men with children through tax cuts and affordable child care. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This is good. This is very, very detailed, but here's the problem. Where's the reparations, bro? Where's reparations? Like, it's not about tweaking things within this current framework, because here's the problem. For one, most of this ain't gonna never get done, even if she wins. Because this requires bipartisan support, and the Republicans will never go along with this. Never. Okay? And then two, let's actually look at what she's talking about here. Providing 1 million loans that are fully forgivable to black entrepreneurs and others. There are roughly 50 million black people in this country. And these are just off the head calculations. The number is probably higher or lower than that. It's probably not 50 exactly, but it's roughly 50 million black people. But you're only going to do 1 million loans for some undisclosed amount. And there's supposed to be loans that are fully forgivable. What the fuck does that mean? Like, shouldn't those be grants? Like, grants you don't have to pay back. She talking about loaning this shit. I don't know about you, but the idea of entertaining another loan is frightening to me, because student loans are already fucking raking us over the coals right now. You know, us millennials who were good little boy and girl students and went to college because society told us that there would be jobs waiting for us. We went and got loans, and we're still paying back on them shits right now, even through a goddamn pandemic. So providing another loan and targeting them to black people doesn't sound really good to me. Also, championing education and training and mentorship programs for black men. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and oppose a program, but we don't need mentorship programs. That's something that can happen at the local level. Okay? What we need from the federal government are guarantees, policies. You want to talk about a policy? How about you eliminate student loans? How about you make college free? That's a program. That's a hell of a program that would help a lot of black people. Because you have some talented ass black male and female students who can't afford to go to college, and they don't even know how to apply. Okay? They got the grades. They got the GPA. They have the aptitude, but they can't afford to go. You see what I'm saying? That would help a lot. Then we have this regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. This right here is nothing but corporate quid pro quo. There is some cryptocurrency person, don't know his name. We don't need to know his name. But he donated $1 million to Kamala Harris's campaign. That's why this policy is here. She's trying to funnel black men into crypto. as payment for that crypto dude supporting her campaign. By the way, cryptocurrency tycoons are heavily infiltrating both parties in terms of lobbying. And so their political influence is rising in both parties. So you just need to know that. National Health Equity Initiative. I don't know what an initiative is. Don't know what that is. That don't sound like a program. That doesn't even sound as solid as a program. It doesn't sound like a fund or anything like that. It's an initiative. You know what would be better than that? Medicare for all. If we had a Medicare for all system, black men could go and get themselves checked out and help improve a lot of this shit. Now, you can't do nothing about no sickle cell. That's hereditary. But some of these other ones, if we had a Medicare for all system, black people would go and get preventative care. And that would help a lot of people. And it wouldn't just help black people either. It would help everybody. It's something that the vast majority of the country supports. And Kamala herself used to support it before she was against it. But the Democrats don't want to do no Medicare for all. They don't want to do anything that would actually help them win people over. What do you know? Then we got this last one. This last one pisses me off the most. Legalizing recreational marijuana. First and foremost, this policy is good. I am very much in favor of legalizing marijuana. Why? Because people shouldn't be in jail for smoking on a fucking plant when they can go to the store and literally drink poison. And when I say poison, I mean alcohol. Alcohol is literally a poison. The key ingredient is ethanol. That is a poison. That's why your liver has to filter that shit out. That's why you can get what's known as alcohol poisoning, because it is a poison. Now, this poison is perfectly legal, but weed is not. Doesn't make sense. Never made sense. Especially considering the fact that you can die from drinking too much alcohol. You can't die from smoking too much weed. Not to mention, the last time the government decided to ban a particular substance, it created an underground market to sell that damn substance. And it led to the rise of people like Al Capone. That was during Prohibition. So when you ban a substance, it turns out it doesn't stop people from getting their hands on that substance. All it does is it creates a lane for criminals to sell that substance to people and get rich. And because drugs are illegal in this country and we have a war on drugs, this has led to the rise of all these famous drug tycoons like Freeway Ricky Ross and Big Meech and some of the Mexican cartel members, the famous ones that people always talk about, like El Chapo and shit like that. They profit because they provide something that's illegal here. If that shit was legal, they couldn't make no money. You ever heard of a beer dealer or a cigarette dealer? You know why you don't hear about it? Because that shit, people can already buy that shit for free. Or buy it legally, I should say, not for free. That's dumb. But you don't have cigarette dealers because you can go and get cigarettes, you see? But anyway, but the main thing that pisses me off about this is that this was put under the black men agenda. Why the fuck would you associate black men with legalizing recreational marijuana and, moreover, creating opportunities for black Americans to succeed in this new industry? She went into more detail here. Let me see. Hold on a second. Here we go. Break down unjust legal barriers that hold black men and other Americans back by legalizing marijuana nationally. Working with Congress. Okay, that part is fine. She will also fight to ensure that as the national cannabis industry takes shape, black men who have for years been over-policed for marijuana use are able to access wealth and jobs in this new market. So she's literally advocating for black men to sell weed. Hey, I'm going to make it legal for you to sell weed. That's my black agenda. The last plank of my black agenda. Motherfucker, that's like, this is some shit that Chappelle would have made up. Like, this should have been some shit in an episode of the Boondocks or something. Like, are you fucking for real? Like, lady, you're gonna fall back on racial stereotypes of what black men want? I ain't never heard a nigga sit there and say, hey, I want to smoke weed. I'm gonna vote for a candidate so I can smoke weed and sell weed. What the fuck? Like, no. People don't need a policy in order to sell weed and smoke weed. People do it no matter what. I mean, it's good to make it legal, but associating that with black people when legalizing marijuana is overwhelmingly popular with all people in this country just shows me where, you know, Democrats' heads are at, up they motherfucking ass. So as I come back to Obama's going to try to guilt trip black men using a tired ass trope about how black men are allegedly running for the hills towards Trump land and away from Democrats, even though at a minimum Democratic candidates have gotten 4/5 of the black male vote. 4 out of every 5 black men that vote in a presidential election, at minimum 4 out of 5, have supported the Democratic candidate. Yet Obama feels the need to sit there and fucking patronize black men and try to guilt trip us into voting for a lady who wants to tell us that it's okay to smoke weed and sell weed. Her agenda is, hey, you guys, I'm going to do initiatives and I'm going to do programs, mentorship programs, and also I'm going to let you sell weed and crypto. Meanwhile, we have an alternative that literally wants to do reparations. Fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, son. That shit is disrespectful. Disrespectful as fuck. And here's the thing about the Democrats, too. It's not even just this particular messaging. It's the way they deliver the message. Do they talk to policy experts? Do they have black town halls? No. What do? They go to black churches and try to pretend to be Christian and pretend to love Jesus. They also try to get our musicians and entertainers to try to coax us into voting Democrat because they must think we're fucking stupid. We're too stupid to understand policy and to be talked to intelligently and treated with fucking decency and respect. Do you see the Democrats using country music artists to appeal to white voters in Appalachia or white Southern voters that have been disaffected by the Democratic Party? Do you see that? No, you don't. They don't even talk to them people. All they know how to do is talk about going to school and, you know, pushing people to college. But they don't even try talking to them. Even though like 70% of them people are about to vote for Trump. You don't see them talking to white women. Like 47% of whom, no, over half of whom voted for Trump in 2020. Where's this pitch to white women to stop voting against their own fucking interests? Oh, I know, there is none. Do you see them hiring people like Julia Roberts or Ellen DeGeneres or other white women to try to appeal to white women? There's no white woman agenda here. All they want to do is talk about reproductive rights and Roe versus Wade. when Obama could have literally codified that shit during his goddamn presidency. This is Obama's fucking fault that women don't have the right to an abortion today. It's just as much Obama's fault as it is Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault for actually instituting the people that got rid of that policy, but it's Obama's fault for not fucking protecting it when he had the goddamn chance to do so and breaking his promise to do it. He made a promise to protect it, then he decided, nah, I ain't gonna do that shit. So it's very rich for him to even be out here stumping for Kamala, because it's like, you think motherfuckers ain't gonna look this shit up? I guess they don't. Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. For these reasons alone, the Democrats do not deserve your fucking vote. And let me be goddamn clear. Yes, I'm talking about Democrats right here. But all of this applies exponentially more to the Republicans. Because as bad as Kamala is, and as bad as the Democrats are, Trump is many, 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 many times worse. And so for those that keep talking about the lesser of two evils and, you know, harm reduction and shit like that, yes, Kamala's definitely the lesser of two evils. She's definitely harm reduction. Undoubtedly, she is the better candidate between the two. She's way smarter. She's actually cogent. She can talk and speak and think. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Trump is just getting old and, you know, he's a blithering racist idiot and horribly incompetent. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of this video should mean that, hey, black people need to run to Republicans. Fuck no. Hell no. Because as adversarial to black people as the Democrats have been, Republicans are just the enemy of black people, straight up and down. Need I remind you that this is the party of the Dixiecrat descendants. You understand what I'm saying? This is the party made up of all the people that defected from the Democrats because of integration. That's why this current Republican Party exists. Because you had a bunch of racist fucks, mostly from the South, but not exclusively, that were mad that black people had to be integrated into society, and they left the Democratic Party over that shit and joined the Republicans. These are their descendants. So by no means am I suggesting that black people should just run to the Republicans. What I am suggesting is that black people should run to the third party. They should run to parties like the Green Party. They're not the only ones out there, but they're the only ones I know of that want reparations. They're the only ones that want to do criminal justice reform. Like real justice reform. I only looked at the stuff having to do with particular people, but I didn't look at the section on criminal justice reform. I bet you there's something in there about ending qualified immunity or allowing cops to be prosecuted for actually killing unarmed, innocent black people. Because need I remind you, cops haven't stopped killing innocent black people. It just ain't being as broadcast as much. That shit ain't stopped at all. But because we don't hear about it as much, except, you know, with cases like Sonia Massey and shit like that, because we don't hear about it as much, motherfuckers want to pretend as though the problem is over or that Joe Biden actually did some shit about it. No. He has not ended qualified immunity. He has not demilitarized the police. He has not defunded them. And by the way, defund police just literally means take that extra money that they would use for fucking military gear and redistribute that to the community for like mental health and shit like that. It doesn't mean get rid of damn police precincts and shit. Stupid. But anyway, what am I getting at here? What I'm getting at is the Republicans are not a viable home for black people or any people. But I'm talking specifically to black people, because black men are the targets right now. We got eyes on us right now because Kamala's numbers for black people do look worse than Joe Biden's. She's polling in the high 70s, whereas Joe Biden got 80%. Now, the election has not happened yet. So Kamala could very well wind up getting like 82% of the black male vote. And then all of this will have been for naught. Right? But it's also equally possible that her numbers continue to drop, just as Biden's, Clinton's, and Obama's dropped before her. And the reason why those numbers are dropping is because of the Democrats themselves. It ain't because of fucking misogyny. Yeah, you could find some dumbass manosphere fucks that are running around here saying that women shouldn't be leaders and all that bullshit. You can certainly find some dumbass black conservatives that want to run around wearing MAGA hats and shit. You can find them niggas. They exist. But do they represent some plurality of black men or black people? Hell no. Hell no. They are being widely overrepresented in the media, and they're being used to spin an anti-black narrative, and that's the shit that pissed me off. But more than that, what really pisses me off is the fact that these motherfuckers have the nerve to try to guilt trip us into voting for Democrats when the Democrats are out here actively supporting genocide in Gaza. Allow me to be very frank and very clear. The United States supports Israel as its ally. Israel, the Israeli government, I should say, is out here massacring innocent brown Arab people known as Palestinians. They are known as Palestinians because they lived in the country known as Palestine, which is where present-day Israel is. The Israeli people, well, the Israeli government are colonizers. They are white-skinned colonizers that have infiltrated a land that was primarily occupied by brown-skinned Arab people. So this is racial as much as it is religious, because we know the Israelis are Jewish, and they have tried to tie themselves to their religion to make themselves one and the same. But not every Jewish person is a Zionist. Those are the Israeli people that are in favor of discriminating against Palestinians. And this has been going on for years now, decades now, actually. But as of late, the Israeli government has gone after a terrorist group by the name of Hamas. Hamas is a Palestinian terrorist group that kills innocent Israeli citizens. And the Israeli government has used going after Hamas as a pretext to engage in genocide of Palestinian people. It is apartheid. It is committing every kind of atrocity you can think of. Killing innocent women, children, shooting children in the head, blowing up schools, blowing up hospitals. On behalf of the Israeli government, they're doing this to Palestinian brown-skinned citizens. Why does this mean anything to us? Our weapons. Israel is using American weapons and American money to do this. This involves us, you and me, all of you that are listening to this video, watching it right now. They're taking your tax dollars, buying weapons, and sending them to Israel so that Israel can commit genocide against Palestinians. And there's footage of it all over TikTok, which is what led to the government banning TikTok so that people wouldn't see it. Because you got Palestinians that are over there experiencing the shit, going on social media and talking about how their lives are. Talking about Israeli bombs that are made right here in America. Destroying their villages, destroying their whole lives. This is such a divisive issue that there were college protests over this earlier this year. That Biden actually was in favor of the police going and violently stamping out college campus protesters. Biden has been extraordinarily abstinent about this. The man went on TV and called himself a Zionist, which again is the name of a person who supports the Israeli government. The Israeli government died. This one issue is going to cost Kamala Harris the vote in Michigan, because Muslim populations in that state are deciding that they're not going to support Kamala Harris when they previously supported Joe Biden. Joe Biden narrowly won the state of Michigan by like tens of thousands of votes. There are over 100,000 Muslim people in Michigan who are not going to vote Democrat now. That's how big of an issue this is. Muslims across this country, Muslim Americans and Palestinian Americans, are deciding they are not going to support the Democrats because of their stance on Palestine. And you know what? I'm going to join them. I'm not voting for them Democrats. Fuck no. I'm voting for the Green Party. I will not be caught dead as a black man voting for a party that would give my tax dollars to buy weapons that will be used to kill and maim and torture brown-skinned people on behalf of white supremacy. I won't fucking do it. See, before there was plausible deniability, you know. But the Democrats have been pressed on this now. Joe Biden has been urged over and over and over by all kinds of different outlets, including people in his own goddamn administration, to stop supporting Israel. He refuses to do it. Joe Biden was going to lose this election handily if he remained in it, which is why he dropped out. But it looks like Kamala could also possibly lose this election for the same goddamn reason, amongst others. That one issue alone is enough for me to be like, nope, can't do it. See, here's the thing. I was excited at the possibility of voting for the first female black president. I really was, because I voted happily for the first black male president. But then I regretted that vote because Obama turned out to be a massive disappointment. I mean, certainly he instituted good policies on the economy, yes. And he was fantastic for gay rights and stuff like that, which is an important issue. He was also good on immigration, and he did a bunch of little small things that made things better. But he failed to deliver on many of his campaign promises. And he didn't do a goddamn thing for the black community and the working class community. But now we have a Democratic Party that is openly in favor of sending weapons to Israel and being antagonistic towards protest efforts against what Israel is doing. I can't support that. I'm not voting for genocide. I don't give a fuck what you say. And let me be clear, the Republicans are far worse on this than even the Democrats are, because Trump would give Israel more money. Trump has been using Palestinian as a slur. He would ramp up the massacre of Palestinians in that region of the world. He would support even more of it. So Trump would be worse on this if elected. But Biden is terrible on it now. And he won't stop. And it looks like Kamala is going to continue what the fuck he was doing. So, nope. No. Absolutely not. So I'm not going to tell you to vote who to vote for, but I am going to tell you who to vote against. Vote against these two parties, man. They don't have your interest at heart. They think they got their voters by the balls. They think they don't have to do shit to earn your vote. They think that they got y'all so shook to vote for the other guy that you won't dare vote against them because the other guy is too worse. It's too bad. Too terrible. This is true for both the red and the blue party. Because while I'm talking all this shit about Democrats, Trump done lied to evangelicals about supporting national abortion ban. They're finding out that he's a goddamn liar too. See, before he was elected as president the first time, Trump was in favor of punishing women that got abortions. And the evangelicals in this country only voted for him. Well, they voted for him in part because they want abortion to be gone. But once Trump voted, or he swore 3 Supreme Court justices in the power that helped overturn Roe versus Wade, Republicans faced a shellacking in 2022. There should have been a red wave of new Republican representatives and senators and shit. It was the reverse. Republicans lost badly, due in large part to what happened with abortion. And so now Trump realizes that a national abortion ban would make him horribly unpopular. And so since it's not popular anymore, he's shying away from it. Now he wants to protect reproductive rights for women, which is the language of being in favor of abortion. And this has pissed off his evangelical base. This has pissed off his evangelical base. And so What Trump is saying is, well, hey, I know y'all want me to do this thing, but I won't win the election if I do it, so I'm not going to do the shit. He ain't going to say it out loud, but that's basically what he's doing. And Trump is betting on the calculation that the evangelicals aren't going to vote for Kamala. Because he's like, what are you going to do, vote for Kamala? You have to vote for me. You ain't got no choice. You know? So both the Democrats and the Republicans are making this calculation. There's no way you can vote for the other guy. So you have to vote for us, even if we don't do shit, even if we don't make your lives better, even if we don't give you the policies that you want, even if we decide we're going to serve our corporate paymasters over taking care of y'all the way that you asked us to. So the Democrats do not deserve your vote. The Republicans definitely do not deserve your vote. Nobody does. Your vote should not be given to anybody. Your vote should be earned by a political party or a candidate that has policies that you actually like and will deliver on their campaign promises. And if they don't deliver and they decide that they just gonna reverse course and shit, or they gonna decide that they not gonna fulfill their promise, it's fuck them. And you vote for somebody else. See, Ice Cube was right about black people needing to let their vote be for hire. Let themselves be free agents instead of always playing for Team Blue. Because Team Blue will take any old little setback and use that as an excuse to not proceed forward with the thing that they promised they was going to do. Look at Joe Biden with the student loans. He's canceled student loans, but he has fallen way short of his promise of what he was going to do. And all he would need to do is sign an executive order to fulfill this promise. He won't do it. He won't do it. What has Joe Biden done on immigration? Not a motherfucking thing, except maintain a lot of Trump policies that deported a bunch of people. Joe Biden has deported more people than than Trump ever did. Also, more immigrants have come into the country under Biden than Trump, but that's because the economy's doing better. But anyway, all those dreamers that wanted Joe Biden to institute policies that would give them a path to citizenship, nothing, no dice. Excuse me. So what am I saying? I think I said it. Neither of these parties deserve your fucking vote. All of you under the sound of my voice, do not give your vote away. You sell your vote to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder should be the person that has policies that you fucking want and delivers on said policies. Or if they don't deliver, they have a good ass motherfucking reason, and they try to do the very next best thing. If they don't do that, you don't vote for their ass. Fuck them. But these two parties ain't gonna do shit. We're gonna have to force them to do it, drag them to it, kicking and screaming. But that can't happen if we give our votes away. If you give your vote away. I'm done giving my vote away. I'm voting green. And I'm only voting green on the condition that they keep pushing forward policies that I like. If they don't have policies I like no more, then fuck them too, West Side. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what I urge y'all to do, because that's what I'm going to do. I appreciate you guys if you made it this far. I know this video was long as fuck, but I had a lot to get off my chest, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to let y'all know. Plus, I had to come with the receipts and shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it bees like that sometimes. Just use your vote wisely, man. Use your vote wisely. Don't give it away. Vote your conscience. Vote by policy. Don't give your vote away to nobody. Don't let Obama shame you into voting for a person. Don't let Trump lie to you relentlessly and get you to vote for him. Because that's what Trump is doing. He's just lying his fucking ass off. Don't let these fucking politicians gaslight you, son. Don't let them deceive you. Don't let them do none of that shit. Alright? But with that being said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Peace.